Hello and welcome back to Real Estate Real Talk. I'm Susan Reddick, and today our special guest is Alger Studstill, and he's a realtor with Century 21 One Blue. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And I also got my girls Devin and Sarah, my 18.
Hey, we here.
We ready to do this thing. What I want to do is keep talking about that generational curse thing. I think that's so important, and we need to talk about, have that conversation a little more.
Yes.
There are so many times as single mothers and just in our day-to-day lives where we're just trying to put food on the table. If we've got a daughter, we're saying, don't you go out there and get yourself in trouble. And we're telling our son, be careful. Don't put a hoodie or anything. Be careful. Make it home safe.
Right.
But we need to be also talking about this real estate.
Absolutely. And so we talked about, I lived in an apartment
Yes.
growing up, but I had a single mother.
Mhm.
And I knew she worked 2 jobs. And yes, I remember the struggle about the food on the table and the conversations
It can
about,
be a struggle.
being a black male in the community. But every Saturday morning after we got done listening to Shirley Caesar so we could clean up,
Yes.
we would go pay bills. So I would go with my mom when she was going to the bank to take care of things, or
Yes.
when she was going to JCPenney's or wherever to pay bills. And so early on, I learned about taking care of my finances. So while we didn't have specific conversations on wealth and home ownership, I learned from just watching. And I remember my grandparents, they lived in the same home my entire life. And my granddad has been an auto mechanic for well over 40 years. So he had his own business. So watching his work ethic, and my grandmother would do taxes. And so learning about LLCs and just learning about those types of conversations, I think that's important. So it needs to be a natural conversation, and it doesn't have to just be about real estate, but it just needs to be taking care of your finances. Because if you take care of your finances now, then you can get that home and your credit's right. Because we never had conversations about credit. So when I got to college and Express gave me a credit card,
Yes.
every party on
You were
campus, I was, oh, my homeboy needed a shirt. I got you.
Okay, I'm right.
But then it took me a year after college to pay off that
Yes,
bill. And so it's just those intentional conversations that have to be
and
had.
it's so important because, like you say, you saw this coming up. I only lived in one house. But what about the person? How do we reach someone and help them, tell them what to tell their children about that hasn't had that experience that we've had?
Well, I think how we reach them is what we're doing right now, which is awesome. What we're talking about right now, because I just want to piggyback on what Alger said, because I also grew up in a home with a single mom.
Yes.
My dad was still there, but my parents had me very young, and I just remember my mom having conversations with me, telling me how we have to make it.
Yes.
We have to make it. I have to go to work just like your mom. So I need you to go to school. I need you to do well. I can't be worried about you in school. I just need you to do the right thing. So I just remember those conversations, and for me, I had my first son when I was 19 years old, and I remember saying, asking myself, like, is my life over? Am I still going to beat somebody?
Yeah.
So I remember those conversations with myself, and now I'm thinking about things for my kids. I'm like, I don't want them to have to feel that way. And sometimes my children, I don't necessarily get into material things with them. I don't spend time on things that don't have any value. So when they bring up certain things that I don't do, like their friends, I say, listen, I am building something far greater for you. Everything that I do is for you. The opportunities that I'm creating for you is something far more valuable. I said, letting you stay home and save your money to buy your first rental property is huge. I need you to understand that. I need you to understand that I am thinking years ahead of you, and I want you to appreciate it.
That's really good. When I was coming up, my mother made sure I could sew, but then I didn't catch some of that stuff. I didn't grab some of that stuff because when I got old enough, I said, I ain't sewing no more. I'm buying me some store-bought clothes.
Parents, I think it's very important that we teach our kids about wealth and about how real estate can bring wealth to us.
I completely agree with Sarah, because there's a famous saying that 90% of millionaires have obtained their wealth from real estate.
You know what? Keep learning about real estate and wealth on Real Estate Real Talk.